And it was really out of control. So they do themselves no favors. People are leaving in droves. I mean, I guess it takes a long time for all this the bad policy to play out and for the pendulum to swing, for people to get mad enough to vote these people out of office. But, you know, if Gavin Newsom thinks he's going to be president of the United States, I think he's got a massive wake-up call coming.
Jackie DeAngelis just turned Gavin Newsom into a human meme, and not the flattering kind. One second he's slicking back his hair, the next he's mentally buffering like a broken iPhone. What happens when Wall Street wit meets California slick spoiler? It's not pretty. Gavin tried to clap back but forgot to bring the clap. Stick around, this takedown is so brutal even Newsom's eyebrows tried to flee the scene.
The logic here is so far gone that it's very mind-boggling. But what I will say about this and Pete Buttigieg is part of the reason we went into this inflation spiral is all of the money we spent. Infrastructure, I include in that, about $1 trillion, right? Having said that, we have real infrastructure problems in this country that we should be focused on.
If you're enjoying, please subscribe to the channel. It helps more than you think. Gavin Newsom showed up thinking he was about to give a TED Talk. Instead, he walked into a policy buzzsaw named Jackie DeAngelis, who promptly turned California's golden boy into a walking contradiction wrapped in hair gel. This wasn't a routine media panel, it was a televised bloodbath disguised as discussion. Jackie served facts with the precision of a brain surgeon and the enthusiasm of a Wall Street analyst who just shorted WeWork.
It's a case that flies in the face of a lot of things people in California got to live with every day.
Well, first of all, it's a bit of the antithesis of the last segment. We're talking about what Trump is doing with deregulation, you know, trying to expand energy right now. You know, you've got the rolling brownouts, you've got expensive gasoline, businesses struggle to stay there. You know, my home state of Texas, we have been a great beneficiary of many of the policies of Governor Newsom,
right,
bringing businesses to Texas. And it's because, you know, this is an economic challenge for companies. And by the way, California is the home of many of the world's leading technology companies.
Gavin, meanwhile, looked like a substitute teacher asked to explain quantum physics with a crayon. Jackie came locked, loaded, and economically caffeinated. She didn't just talk policy, she eviscerated it. Her opening salvo, a delightful data dump on why Californians are fleeing like the state's on fire, which to be fair it sometimes is. Skyrocketing taxes, homelessness spikes, shuttered businesses, and laws written with glitter pens.
You know who the Democratic frontrunner for governor of California is in 2026, don't you? It's Kamala Harris,
I know.
Jackie. So, I mean, you're not in California, but like with that kind of leadership on the horizon, are you feeling good about the state?
No, I'm not very optimistic about the prospects. I don't think the state's going to get its act together. We'll see what happens. People really have to, I guess they told me here in New York City, you have to hit rock bottom about the criminals that are being released, about the migrants and the sanctuary city status. We have to hit rock bottom before something changes, or Eric Adams has to be indicted or face indictment. That could happen too. But what I do like on the business front is the Walgreens CEO talking about how locking things up doesn't fix the problem, because we've lived.
Gavin tried to spin it, puffed out his chest, dusted off climate catchphrases, and sprinkled buzzwords like parmesan on a sad salad. Innovation, equity, renewable future. Jackie didn't blink. She asked why a state that runs on innovation has tech companies sprinting for the exit faster than a Silicon Valley intern late for kombucha hour.
In what world does that make sense? You had a huge refinery that just closed there as well. They do everything that they can to discourage energy, not only from the production standpoint, but to bring the end product to their users, Brian. And that's why they pay so much for energy there. That's why whenever we talk about gas prices, we always say, oh, excluding California, because it's such a mess there. That they bring it in, it costs more.
Yeah.
With respect to their gas, for example, they have special environmental blends that makes, it costs.
At this point, Gavin clearly assumed his charisma would save him, the smile, the slick suit, the charm of a man who talks climate change while flying private to Napa. But Jackie wasn't buying it. She pulled out stats like a magician pulls rabbits from hats: unemployment rates, budget deficits, and enough red tape to strangle a bald eagle. Then came the magical moment. Newsom tried to clap back. His inner monologue cheered, "You got this, Gav." Pivot to green energy and flash that Kennedy grin. But when he opened his mouth, it was a mid-update software glitch. Words came out, coherence didn't. Slogans, jabs, climate leadership claims. Jackie deadpan. Yes, a model of what not to do. Cinematic silence.
And at you, California used to produce 60% of the oil it consumed, and they've got reserves as high as 30 billion barrels, and yet today they produce only 23% of what they consume. So they need this stuff, they have this stuff, and instead they spend money on floating windmills off the coast.
Are you reading from the Gavin Newsom editorial?
Oh no, I'm reading from another one that maybe provides a little reality check on Gavin Newsom. Little reality check.
Because that's something that he would actually brag about.
Then Jackie went full analyst mode. No fluff, no frills, just pure economic roast. She broke down California's policies like a busted spreadsheet, pointing out you can't claim economic success when citizens need GoFundMe to pay electric bills. Gavin tried defending protecting workers, but Jackie countered with job loss stats that folded the premise faster than a cheap lawn chair. She pivoted him back every time he tried to escape to national issues.
Thinking that you can put Band-Aids on things that harm other people in communities, and all of a sudden you'll make it better. I mean, that's had to come full circle. But locking things up isn't the answer. Not putting criminals away isn't the answer. Being sanctuary cities and putting migrants up in hotels isn't the answer. And so we've all spent a lot of money, but I think we're starting to learn.
We just want to be able to buy 2 pints of ice cream instead of 1, and not have to ring the bell for the associate and saying I'm buying 2, not 1.
Jackie reminded everyone that while Newsom talks big about national leadership, he can't stop people from pooping on the streets of San Francisco. California, she argued, is the blueprint for doing everything wrong while congratulating yourself. Gavin looked like he wanted to evaporate. Then Jackie brought up Tesla. Meme. He blinked like his eyelids were sending Morse code for help.
He really hasn't created anything, so let's just be clear.
That is the worst economic statistic in America right now, that he's created 10 million jobs. What's sad here, you look at the Jeep Cherokee plant and what's happening, they're not laying people off because people don't want those cars.
Right.
People want to buy those cars. They're good cars. They're popular cars. It's not about consumer choice, about business viability. It's all about an ideology that cannot hang together economically.
She slammed the regulation addiction. Pointed out California leads in both income and poverty. Gavin tried the moral high ground, justice equality, and Jackie asked why justice means eggs cost a fortune. Social media erupted. Clips went viral. Memes of Newsom blinking in a wind tunnel. Edits of Jackie with a flamethrower. His team silent.
Your voice. If the issues that we discuss time and time again on this panel are so important to people, like the economy, like the border, like our foreign policy, then they need to get out and they need to make sure that Herschel Walker is elected. And time will tell. December 6th, we'll know what exactly is happening. But I look at this from the long-term picture, too. It's not just about right now. These are 6-year terms, I believe. And so it could decide what the shakeup is and what the look is in the future. And that's what people need to think about. And they also need to look at, how we came out of the midterms, how the Republicans...
Jackie didn't destroy Newsom with aggression, she destroyed him with preparation. Receipts over rhetoric. And that's the real threat to people like Gavin. The jig is up. Platitudes are dying. Voters are fact-checking live. Gavin tried the pivot: wildfires, inflation, Canada, anything to zoom out until California blurred. Jackie dug into hard data, and his brain hit the spinning wheel of doom.
When you lock things up, you don't sell as many of them. We've kind of proven that pretty conclusively. So we got California people on this set right now. One of them is Andrew Gruel, who I've kind of read your stuff. I mean, you're kind of...
By the time Jackie pointed out the media's soft focus lens on Newsom, he was just recycling talking points: climate investment, inclusive growth, synergy, perfume level vagueness. Jackie's smirk said, "Sweetie, bless your heart." Twitter memes. Gavin blinking 17 times in 10 seconds. White flag gifs reading, "Please make it stop."
A nuclear plant, the San Onofre plant, was shut down in 2013, despite only needing the replacement of a steam generator for less than $700 million. And there is no form of electricity cleaner than nuclear and more reliable. It is baseload. So Alex Epstein, he has talking points about every element of the kind of energy disaster within California.
Cable news split. Right-wing media replayed Jackie's quotes like touchdowns. Progressive outlets scrambled. It wasn't that bad, one analyst twitched. Newsom's camp crickets. The silence said more than any spin. This wasn't ideological, it was intellectual. And Gavin flunked.
One more time, let's do it. We'll put him out there. If we can get him elected, we'll still control everything behind the scenes and keep everything, according to status quo. That's fine for them. The only problem is that the president can't speak a coherent sentence after 8 o'clock at night. And now they're basically, they're broadcasting that to the American people, and they're trying to sell that as okay.
And, I think you're right. The media is finally...
This wasn't just one bad hit, it was a preview. If Gavin can't hold ground against a financial analyst with a spreadsheet, how will he fare in a presidential debate? Substance is making a comeback. People like Jackie are rising, dismantling policy with evidence, not noise.
And that's how I wanted to sort of finish.
And that's why Bessent doesn't say more
than he should or can.
Because he doesn't know.
Right, he doesn't know. And that's just how I would, cap my point that I was making before, which is that there's still too much uncertainty and there's still too many moving parts and there's still too many decisions that have to be made that depend on the dominoes and how they fall. And
Gavin's dream of looking presidential while dodging accountability took a gut punch. If he can't handle Jackie on a business segment, a national campaign would eat him alive. In the end, Jackie DeAngelis obliterated Gavin Newsom, and blinking like a malfunctioning animatronic was his only comeback.